Hi, everyone. In this episode of Clientology Daily Insights, I want to share one of my favorite tools, and it's called TheBrain. So, if you go to thebrain.com, you can see everything you need to know about buying the brain or just using their free version. Full disclosure, I am not a paid person, I don't make any money off of it. So, I don't have an affiliate link, there's no secrets or sneaky things, but I just plain love using the brain and think of it as a visual mapping tool, but it's also a great way to manage relationships. I think we've showed a separate episode where we have networking with intention. If not, I will make sure I record that. I definitely planned on it. In today's episode, I just wanted to share some of the resources around clientology. And you don't have to find the URL. I'll put it at the top of the show notes below or in the show notes below. And basically, the beautiful thing about the link is you can wander around in a read only version of this brain and you can't break it. So just wander around as much as you want. At the top, there is a series of shortcuts that I've created so you can always find your way back to something. And then, as you can see at the very bottom, it gives you a breadcrumb trail so you can always revisit something you visited in the past. So, this is just meant to be a really quick overview. And I want people, they're always looking to say, how do we find out more about clientology? How do we understand what clientology is? This brain is clientology as it evolves. So we have copies of our books in here, we have copies of our podcast episodes, and we share some programs. So I'm just going to give you a high level overview. If you're ever lost when you're searching through the brain, there is up top here on the left something called Start Here. And as you can see, the brain is very, very visual. You can change your view. So within the brain, we have links to our podcasts. So here's all of the links. So if you're ever lost within the brain, you can come back here. This part will be updated most frequently. So we'll be adding content throughout the brain. And as we add content, we'll add a Start Here link. So as you can see, you can just click on any one of these four to see episodes of our podcast. So as an example, you can click on the Clientology podcast and we'll have a synopsis, just a quick little overview. Our podcasts are hosted on YouTube, so you can access the YouTube playlist. And then you can actually see the individual episodes by just clicking on the YouTube link. And if you want, you can join our free LinkedIn group where we share a bunch of content as well. So you have two ways to get the free content. One, you can just keep returning to this brain, or two, if you want some interaction, you can join our LinkedIn group. So as you can see, we have our podcasts. Going forward, we're going to create a list of podcasts we like as well. If you're ever stuck, as I said, you can just go back to the Start Here. Now, in the business book club, I'm going to share my favorite books. I also have a section on The Go Giver because I really, really value that book by Bob Berg and John David Mann. So I want people to be able to access my thoughts on it. So we have the business book club. These are just books out there that have had a big impact on me or have shaped the clientology mindset. So check back. I'll be sharing synopsis overviews of books that I love, why I love them, what I learned from them. You can decide whether it's a book worth reading or not, but my goal is just to help you filter through and pick some of the books that have had the biggest impact on me. Now, the next section is the Clientology book series, and this is evolving. It is an eternal work in progress. So if you come back every time, you might see updates. Sometimes we don't update immediately, but this is where we put actual PDF copies of all of the Clientology books when they're published, but also while we're publishing them, we will have some notes. So as you can see, you can click on each of these book titles. And for example, the Clientology Overview is here. You can actually read the book in PDF format. Again, if the book has been published, we generally will put relevant resources, materials. Sometimes we put the whole book, sometimes we just put the focus. So you can see we've got several of the books you can work your way through. And the reason I do this, I'm not in the business of selling books. I'm in the business of helping people. And I want you to be able to flip through and say, is Jeff somebody that I want to work with? Do I want Jeff's help? And so that's really all we're doing, is sharing the books. If you're not sure where to start with book number 1, the Clientology Overview. And then you don't need to work through these in consecutive order. You can. If you are just new to the Clientology world, I'd highly recommend you read the first book. The second book, How to Grow Your Business by Leveraging Key Strategic Partners. I haven't uploaded it. We're in the midst of doing an update. It will be uploaded shortly, but in the meantime, this is the Key Strategic Partner Plan that we complete. And then books 3 and 4, these are books where we show you exactly what we do with our clients, how we walk them through getting clear on who they serve, what problems they solve. And then step 5 is where all of that preparatory work gets done. And now that we've done that preparatory work, we're ready to launch an authority book. So that is the Clientology. And again, you can see the book series up at the top here. You can see our podcast episodes. And we do have a Clientology growth system, which we share some details here. And we have a key strategic partner plan, which we share some details here. So we look forward to your feedback. Explore our brain. Like I said, the link is in the show notes below. And I look forward to your feedback. We will, as I said, be evolving the brain. So on my screen on the left, we have the navigation. And then on the right, we have the actual content. So thank you. I hope this was useful. And as always, I always ask the question, how does this apply to me? So 2 questions. Number 1, how does the brain apply to you? And 2, how does Clientology apply to you? And by the way, it is perfectly acceptable as an answer that one or both do not apply to you. That's the beautiful thing about how does this apply to me? It might not. So thank you, and I hope you got some value. I do love the brain. It is an amazing tool. We'll be doing some more deep dives on it in the future, so come back soon. Thank you.